Welcome in. We just beat stage 5 of Undead Horde Faction Wars, which is land 10 sleeps, and I wanted to walk you guys through my thought process and how I beat it. Welcome in, my name is PJ and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. And when I first saw this challenge, I was a little concerned because I don't have Siphi, and when I looked to see the other champions that were available for sleep, it was kind of small options, not many. So we're just gonna come in here. This is a great way to check to see what you guys have for the debuffs that you need. So I'm covering it. I can kind of slide over here, but we have Volcanos, we have Karvus Jack, and Zelta. This guy has a 15% chance to sleep on the A1, and then it books to a 20, 30, 40% chance on the A1. His A2 places a shield on all allies equal to 20% of this champion's max HP for 3 turns. Places a continuous shield also on all allies for 2 turns. His A3 attacks all enemies, has a 50, books to a 60, 70, 75% chance of placing a sleep debuff for 1 turn. Also has a 75% chance against enemies under debuff. So it goes up to 100% chance if they are under debuffs. So this is going to be really good for this stage. It is a 5-turn cooldown, but paired with the A1 sleep, the A3 having an AoE sleep, and maybe even putting him in a day set, I think this dude could be really good for this fusion for the sleeps going forward. I think I might be leveling him up. So I really don't want to, I'm trying to not use as many resources as possible for these early stages, because I'm assuming down the line I'm going to have to use a lot of resources. So I'm trying to be very stingy. Makes sense. I'm trying to save my silver and not use much gear swapping and all that good stuff. So hold up guys, now is the perfect time to click on my link in the description and get a free Karato as well as 4 more insane free epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Step 1, log out of player and play on PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to the inbox and claim your first champion. Don't miss out on your chance to get a free Karato after signing up, as well as Uugo, Rector Drath, Tagoar, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. So click on my link right now and let's crush this together. If we look at Volcanon, the only way he's placing a sleep is from his passive, and it's when they hit him, there's when he's under a shield, has a chance of placing one of these. So pretty rough RNG. How is Harvest Jack getting this sleep? So he attacks all enemies, placing a True Fear for 1 turn. Also places a decreased speed debuff for 2 turns, and decreases each turn meter, target's turn meter by 15% if the True Fear places. Has a 75% chance of placing a sleep debuff for 1 turn if the True Fear debuff is not placed. So I'm thinking here like, how can I get this to work? Because if you give him accuracy, then he's gonna most likely land the True Fears and the sleep won't work. If he weak hits, then he's gonna weak hit and nothing's gonna land. But I was like, there's a few champions in this faction that maybe I could place the True Fear first, then have him come in after, and maybe that will work, gain the sleep that way. And because there's already True Fear placed, he's not placing it, the sleep will land. And it actually worked. So I can show you guys real quick how this works. So this is the team I'm using. You don't really need Necrit or Morrigan. It's more if you want either Mashald and Fabian. Fabian was a fusion recently, so a lot of people might have him. Again, this isn't for everyone. This is for if you have Harvest Jack and a True Fear. If you have Siphi, Siphi's gonna be a lot easier to use. If you have Days, which is the sleep set, which I don't think a lot of people have. Most people were selling it and there wasn't really much place for it in the game until up to now. So I can show you here real quick. I was ideally like, okay, I can use a Days set. That doesn't seem too bad. And then I come over to my Dazed. We have 1 piece not equipped, and then if I go to equip, I have 6 pieces total and not a complete set. So I was like, that's kind of out the window. But if you do have the sleep set, if you do have Days, then I would highly recommend throwing this on 1 or 2 champions. 25% chance is actually pretty good compared to, let's say, Provoke or Stun. So we can see Provoke's a little bit better than Stun. Stun's 18%. So Provoke is a 30% chance. So Provoke's actually, Provoke's actually a little bit better than Sleep. Interesting, good to know for other areas. But if you have the Day set, then I definitely recommend this. Unfortunately, I didn't want to farm a bunch of dragon just to try to get a piece, like in a decent piece to make it. So I went with Harvest Jack. I didn't really want to level him. I initially tried it without any gear to see if it would work, if I did resist, maybe it would somehow land the sleep, but because he's resisting, it's not enough accuracy, it's not going to work like that. I just want to test it out, but I assumed it wasn't going to work. So I gave him enough accuracy, I just gave him a few pieces, and it worked. So then, I don't have a book though, so the cooldown is really long. It's a 5-turn cooldown. I was like, oh, that's kind of rough. So I gave him some decent relentless, nothing too crazy. He doesn't even have a shield, he has a ring. I was trying to lower his speed a little bit because my Mashald is slower. I wanted ideally Mashald to go before Harvest Jack, and then he would come in after. Everyone would be True Feared, but it didn't end up working like that. But we can show you here really quickly how it goes and see if we can get it to work live. Again, this is going to be a very, very kind of unique strategy depending on who you have. If you don't have Fabian, if you don't have Harvest Jack, then it's not going to work. You don't need Mashald, you really just need Fabian and Harvest Jack, or if you don't have Fabian, Mashald also works as well. So if you don't have Mashald and you just have Fabian, then you could A2, Petrify someone, and then put True Fear on the other champions. We're just going to A1 and cycle through, I think, and have Mashald put up the True Fears. So this is where I ideally would have Mashald go right before him and put up the True Fears, and then he would go, but we're going to cycle through. He gets the extra turn. We don't want the extra turn right now, buddy. Could have used that actually during the run. As you could have seen, it was like a 12-minute run, so it was not ideal, but we got the job done. So hopefully we cannot, we don't kill them here, and he can get around in time. Just anyone or here. One more, come on. Perfect. Okay, so we have True Fear, 1 turn True Fear, 2 turns, 2 turns, 2 turns, 2 turns. So let's see if we can get some sleeps here. And we got 1 sleep. Obviously, it's very RNG. It depends on him landing it and if you have the True Fears or not. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys my thought process and how I beat this. You don't need Necrit, you definitely don't need Morrigan. It's really Harvest Jack and one of these two. And then the day set. Ideally, I would do a days. I'm probably going to be on the lookout for days in the future because this is going to be really annoying on some of the higher stages, and I might need this plus a day set. This was 10 sleeps, and it was pretty tough. I was looking through the champions to see if anyone else had a sleep that I didn't have. So obviously the main one's going to be Siphi. If you have Siphi, A1 sleep, this is going to be super easy. You're not going to have to worry about this. But if you don't have Siphi, then the other champions are pretty rough. So I don't think anyone else as far as Legos has sleep besides Siphi and then Harvest Jack. I'm not sure. Oh, Gaius. No sleep, and then Knave I don't think has sleep either. So yeah, no sleep from them. For the epics I was looking, I just saw that it was Zolta, and then there are a few rares and commons. I don't think it would necessarily be needed to do this, but if you're really in a deep situation, there are a few options. So I was looking, and one was Seducer. He has it on his A1 as well as a 30, 40, 45% chance to land asleep. And then there's also, which might be the best option. I don't know if I recommend this, but Hellhound, he only has 1 attack, attacks one enemy, places a sleep debuff on the target for 1 turn if it's critical. You need accuracy. Like, there's not like a chance of like 80%, 40%, 50%. As long as you have enough, as long as you have crit and accuracy to land, then you should be good. Do I recommend building him? No, but I was just looking through all the champions to see who had sleep, and I stumbled upon him. I was like, oh, that would actually could be good. But the biggest thing is, I would say days. Be on the lookout for days, and this is kind of a warning too. Days, provoke, stun, all these sets are going to be really impactful. Frost bite, which comes from Doom Tower, could be really good for some of these free stages. They're going to be really impactful for beating the content. The Polarium set up the trials for Faction Wars Hard, or the challenges for Faction Wars Hard, to be doable in the factions, but that doesn't mean that you have the champions to do it. So you might have to rely on some of these sets to complete the challenges. So just be careful, be on the lookout. Now it looks like we might need to be saving days, which is crazy. Days used to be like an instant sell unless it was a god piece, and now I think it's going to be actually pretty useful for some of these challenges if you don't have the right sleep champions. And then yeah, provoke, stun, frost, toxic, poisons is good. The only thing that would be interesting is they don't have in the game yet is a HP burn set. They have almost every other debuff as a set besides HP burn. I'm not sure if that's something they plan on doing in the future, or they've even not thought about, but it would be kind of nice for One for the Trials and Chimera. There's a HP burn Trial and Chimera, so that would be helpful for there. Then also could be useful for some of these challenges in the Hard Faction Wars. So let me know if you guys like this video, if this helpful at all, and then leave a like, leave a comment, hit that sub button. Just wanted to show you guys how I thought and like my thought process and how I beat the stage when I was like, whoa, this is gonna be really tough with not having many sleep champions. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.